anybody knowing anything about COVID that I was going to put yoga teacher training online in some capacity just to make my life easier. And like all good ADHD people do, I was procrastinating. Duh. So, in a have good friends in your corner moment, she was getting on my case about, hey, girl, you need to go put those videos online. So I finally did it. And I want to say that I put them online on a weekend, like that following weekend, all the COVID stuff started happening. So fortunately, listen to good people because they tell you good things, friends that have your back. I put everything online and I was like, we'll see what happens with teacher training. I'll run some ads, we'll see what happens. And maybe 50 people will sign up for class. That'll be great. I can keep doing the studio thing. We can keep this dream alive. Well, in 24 hours, 130 people signed up for yoga teacher training. And my first thought was, Hoppo, who are all these damn people? Where did they come from? What is going on? So it was a very cool problem to have, but it was definitely overwhelming. So from that point, we've been growing and we've been doing this version of teacher training that you see. So fast forward to making things accessible. Teacher training for us has always, for the most part, been under $1,000, which I know is not the norm in the landscape. So I've always kept it that way. However, once a year, what I was doing is making it even more super duper accessible. So fast forward to this year, I made it 25 bucks, and that's how all of you are here. And I can tell you from the bottom of my heart, I am supremely grateful that you are here, but I will probably never do this again. So the amount of work that I have done in the last month and a half, when I tell y'all I have earned every bit of, of the administrative work in this, I have. And to the point where when I got ready to get on this meeting tonight, I told my husband before I came out here to talk to y'all, I said, I got a meeting. He goes, what do you mean you have a meeting? Because all I have done for the past month and a half has been buried in this computer. However, y'all are worth it. This is worth it. This is why I do it, to see all of your faces looking back at me and the abundance of gratitude that I've gotten from each and every one of you for getting the opportunity to do this and be in community. I really, really fully, truly understand how much of a big damn deal this is. I know how much I paid for yoga teacher training when I started. And I know y'all have heard me say this on live. My 2,500 was $2,200. My 2,500, my 200 hour was $2,200. 300 hour was 34, and then my 500 hours was $2,800. So this is not a cheap endeavor. Now, just know that just because I made the price accessible does not mean the training changes and does not mean that I won't stick my foot in your ass if you're not doing what you're supposed to do. I am no different just because y'all pay a little bit less. So please know that if you get a text message from me and you're like, Ashley, I'm struggling to do the videos, and I text you back, go get on your mat and practice, know that it comes from a real good place. And it's me pushing you to do the yoga thing. Because part of this and part of my job as the facilitator, kind of the Sherpa on this journey for you, is to get you to do the yoga thing and to show it for yourself. This training has very little to do with me as an individual and has everything to do with you fully showing up for yourself. And if I can get you all to fully commit to doing that throughout this process, I have done my job. Okay? You're going to be frustrated with me because I didn't email you back fast enough. You're going to be irritated because the only answer I give you is then more yoga. That's a part of this process. What you will find along the way is that you determine how successful you will be in this endeavor, and only you does. Your mom can't do it for you, your husband can't do it for you, your sister, your brother, no one else can do this for you but you. It's going to tug on you in ways that um you may not have emotionally been prepared for, because we're going to talk about some things that maybe reshape your worldview that you've had up until this point. All right. I will tell you, and I tell all of my students, I teach this in tandem with another studio that I consult for. And I say this all the time when I give my opening monologue. When I went through 200-hour teacher training, I ended up, was it two? No, not 200-hour. When I went through 300-hour teacher training, I ended up getting divorced. Now, it was the best thing that I did for myself and my family and my children. Um, but I cannot, I would be lying to you if I told you that me going through that training did not shape me in a way that led me down that path. Okay. So it does have this way of changing you, but be prepared for the hard. All right. Be prepared. So I also teach in a studio in Tampa at Bella Prana. I teach as a part of their teacher training. I'm not on their regular schedule, but I do teach with them as a part of their teacher training. So know that this is one of those things um, that can change the trajectory of who you are as an individual if you let it, and it can change you in some really good ways. And it can change you in ways that press you more than you thought you really wanted to be. Okay. And I give this disclaimer every time before I do teacher training. And until we get in it, until we in there, we in it, there is always some skeptic out there going, it won't be that bad. It's gonna push your buttons. So just know. So when you feel like your buttons are being pushed, just be remember, Ashley told me this might be a thing. She told me that this could happen. Okay. So the other portion of this that I want to share with you now, not everyone is going to want to go on this journey with you. As a matter of fact, many of people will not be remotely interested in going on this journey with you. Just because you are going through this yoga change and going on this interpersonal, introspective experience does not mean that your mama and them are interested in doing that with you. They're not. So I will tell you now, mind your spiritual business, okay? Because just because you are ready to be delivered this message does not mean that everybody else in your sphere, in your environment, in your world is prepared for this message. Save yourself the heartache and the trauma. Okay? Okay. So when you bump into that relationship that all of a sudden that you had a set of rules that you played by for this entire time, now all of a sudden you've gone through this yoga experience and you've gotten a new set of knowledge and a new perspective about self in your ego and how it relates to the environment around you. And all of a sudden, people around you start saying you're acting different. You probably are, but they're not required to change with you. Okay. Okay. So we're going to leave them people alone. We're going to let them be as great as they want to be. It's okay to love folks from afar. You'll be okay. Everybody with me still? Is anybody freaked out yet? Okay, good. All right. I just want to make sure I had the right set of folks. All right, cool, cool, cool. So I'm telling you all of these things because one, I've done this long enough to kind of see people go through this process. So I really want to take the time to give you an idea from a interpersonal, introspective perspective, what can change for you. All right. Um, remember, I got divorced. Got a whole matter of fact, got divorced, and I'm remarried now. Have a whole new husband with a greatly different perspective, and been a greatly different experience. So there's that. All right. So, um, how long is training? Training is as long or short as you want it to be. The reason I phrase it that way is um, this can completely be a fully immersive self study experience. Okay, a fully immersive self study experience. If you choose to go that route where we record everything when I teach live, and then you go back and watch the replays, you do all of the homework assignments outside of the group, turn everything in your due time. As long as you get it in, get it everything turned into me within a year of me finishing teaching. So essentially 200-hour folks you would have until July to July 2027 to get everything turned into me, then you're good. You'll receive your certificate and you can go with God. You can totally do it that way. All right. You can also complete the program within 6 months if you do all of the homework assignments on time. You do not miss any of the live intensives. You do not miss any of the work that's in the online portal. You can be done by you can be done with 200-hour by July of this year. It takes about 6 months. If you're in 500-hour, we end in September. And if you're in 300-hour, I want to say we end in August. I'll have to look at the schedule. So I'm going to look at it right now. I'll tell you what three looks like because the other two I have memorized, and it's only because I have more. There are more of you in 2 and 5 than there are in 3, which is usually the norm. Okay, so 300-hour will end in July. So with that being said, the way that I suggest you do this, if you can do this way, come to all of the intensives that you possibly can. Join me live while I'm teaching live because it's quite different experience to be in the room with everyone else. If you cannot make it live, I understand, but try and attend as many of them as you possibly can. Do the homework assignments as they are given within the group as opposed to doing them on your own because it's nice to get a little help from our friends. All right. If you could do it in a 6 month block, cool. I really, really suggest that you take the year to get things done. The only reason that I suggest that you take the year to get things done is because I am going to throw a shit ton of information at you. And some of it needs time to sink in. Some of it you just need the space, the brain space to receive that lesson. So give yourself the time to do it. Because no, that there isn't an additional administrative fee within that whole year that I give you to turn everything in after I am done teaching. The only time I say, hey, can you throw us like $25 for the admin fee is if we get to the 2 year mark and you haven't turned anything in. All right. If COVID happens, if family emergency happens, death, birth, life, all of that stuff, send me an email and ask for an extension. I will give you an extension because I know life happens. If you are violently ill for, a month, God forbid, and you can't show up, I'm not going to penalize you for that. Okay. So just let me know. Keep in communication with me. Literally send me a text. Say, hey, Ashley, I'm sick. This is what's going on. It is December 31st, and you said that's when my homework's due, and I haven't turned it in. Um, what can I do? Can I get an extension? I'm going to tell you yes and give you an extension. The only time that I'm a stickler about it is if you don't communicate with me. Okay. Now, other things that I do while I'm typically teaching. Hang on 1 second, y'all. Do you need something, honey? All right, go ahead. Go get what you need. The other thing that I do typically while I'm teaching is I will turn the chat off. Um, and I turn the chat off because it's a distraction for me when I'm teaching. Right now, it's fine that it's on and y'all can talk to each other because this is just our opening meeting. But just so you know, when we're in big group, there are times when I turn the chat off because what inadvertently happens is there like 45 side conversations going on that don't necessarily have to do with what I'm saying in that moment. And I also may need the chat to deliver information to you. So sometimes I will turn it off just so you know. Additionally, the each class has its own reading list. Okay, each of the trainings build on one another. All right, the 200-hour training is the foundational training. It is meant to get everybody started on the same page. You can put that away if you need to, Anna. It is meant to get everybody started. It is structured in that self-paced fashion, like I was talking about before, but I do suggest that you join us as much as you possibly can. Um, the purpose of you joining us as much as you possibly can because it gives you access to the supportive community, and it's a more it's a learning environment that's more conducive to the growth that I feel like that is important for training. So if you can join us, great. If you can't, I get it. But if you can be there, that would be excellent. Give me 1 second. I need to shrink my window here. Okay, so from there, the 200 hour, as I was saying before, is foundational. It's geared to building your confidence in teaching and to give you the basic skills to safely run a class. Now, granted, I just said it's meant to build confidence in teaching, but in reality, the way in which that you build confidence in teaching is by getting on the mat and teaching. You will not find your words. You will not find your comfortability in being in front of people, whether it be in person or online, until you have done the thing 9,000 times and it's like in your bones, right? So if you said, "Hey, Ashley, I need you to teach sun salutations right now," everyone stand at the top of the mat, ground into all four corners of your feet. Inhale, raise your arms above your head. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, bring your palms to the shins. Exhale, lower them down. Press your palms into the mat. Step back to plank, lower down, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Breathe 5 times.
Sorry?
You hear how easy that was? That's not showing off. That's just time and repetition. And in order to be able to drop into that place and do that is honestly a matter of time and repetition. Okay? That's it. It's not going to come any other way. So if you're like, I'm struggling with dot dot dot, my answer is typically going to be get on the mat. So that confidence comes in being able to do this thing over and over and over again. It's from doing it over and over and over again. All right. So you will feel like a fish out of the water when we first start doing this, and you will probably feel like that for a while. All right. But the more that you practice on your own, the more that you practice on your mat yourself and get the movements in your body, and the more that you practice teaching, the um, the closer and closer you'll get to that flow state happening. And somebody just said it in the comments. Yeah, it is that flow state. So you literally can drop into the thing that you do that you've been doing, forever, with ease and without the stress. And then you eventually get to a place where you don't have to plan a yoga class anymore. You can kind of teach it on the fly and put fun things together. But foundationally, you need to be able to, but you need to have a foundation first before you get to that place. Does that make sense to everyone? Yes? Cool, cool, cool. All right. So when I tell you that 200 hours is meant to be your basis and your starting off point of your practice and building a safe ability to teach, that's what I'm getting at. Okay, so from there, once you've done 200 hour, 300 hour is meant to refine your skills of sequencing and leadership and learning how to hold the room. So I will tell you uh, two parts with holding a room. One, for me, this is a portion of my personality. I've always been a good orator. I don't mind being in front of people because my mantra has always been, you have no idea what's going on in my head any damn way. You don't know if I'm right, wrong, or indifferent. So it doesn't bother me to be in front of folks, right? However, if being in front of folks isn't necessarily in your wheelhouse, it's a learned skill. All right. So know that the repetition of doing the thing and getting comfortable in your sequencing and learning and expanding and learning more dynamic sequencing happens in 300 hour. 200 hour, as I said before, is meant to be the foundation to get everyone moving in the right direction. All right. And then in 500 hour training, we take a big deep dive into philosophy. We talk about professional integration more, like what does it look like to do this as a career if that's what you want to do. For you can do the from different perspectives, right? What does it look like to do this as a career from being an everyday yoga teacher? What does it look like to build a yoga teacher training program? What does it look like maybe to build a retreat program? We'll talk about it once we get to 500 hour in some very dynamic ways that kind of lend itself to that area that version of training. All right. So requirements that you have for all levels of training, whether you be 200, 300, or 500, um, everyone has videos that they are required to turn in. So I saw a question in the chat that says, can you change your level? I'm pretty sure that that's what that question said. Y'all hold on dropping stuff in the chat for a minute. This is why I usually turn it off. This right here, it just happened. I want to make sure I answer this question. Um, so the question is, if I sign up for 2, can I move to 3, 3 and 5? Once you complete 2, you have to do 2 first. Because foundationally, I need to know that you have all of your ducks in a row, so to speak. So you would start with 2. Once you've completed 2, you can move on from there. Okay, cool. All right, so all of them have video requirements, have video requirements of you recording yourself teaching and you turning that in. In 200 hour, you need to turn in 15 hours of recorded video. In 300 hour, you'll need to turn in 10 hours of recorded video. And in 500 hour, you'll have to turn in 5 hours of recorded video. All 3 levels of training have assessments along the way that we will do and assignments that I will give along the way during our live intensives. All levels of training have foundational practice hours that are required. If you've already done a 200-hour training, you can move on to the next level. If you have not done a 200-hour training, if you have never taken one before, then you have to start there. Okay. So 200 hour is 10 hours of recorded video. 300 hour, I'm sorry, I did that backwards. 200 hour is 15 hours of recorded video. 300 hour is 10, and 500 hour is 5 hours of recorded video. And if y'all hold tight, I'm sure I will answer every one of your questions by the time I've said all the stuff and things. So you will not get poll in this particular training. I will answer that right now. All right, so the way that your videos are structured is you can teach to people that belong to you. Children, pets, parents, cousins, loved ones, the folks in your sphere that are in your environment that won't sue you, you can teach to them. Do not teach to the general public until we've done all the stuff and things. Does that make sense to everybody? All right. If you have signed up for 5 inadvertently or signed up for a level that is above 200 and you need to do 200 first, please send me an email and I will get it changed for you. Okay. So recorded videos, that's where I was. Recorded videos, you can teach to the people that are in your sphere and that belong to you. That is not a problem at all. Make sure that they are comfortable with being on camera. You don't obviously want to record anyone that isn't comfortable. For those of you that teach classes already, and if you teach classes in an environment that allow you to record yourself as a teacher, face your recording device towards you, stand in the front of the class, and record the class, and that counts as an hour. Yes, your children are okay. They have to do what you say anyway, so use them. My children are in many a yoga video over the years. So if you teach already, you can use that as well. But just make sure you record it. As long as I can see you clearly and I can hear you clearly, it counts. The easiest way to go about recording videos is to do them in hour blocks. If you start chopping it up in 30-minute increments, that's just that much more recording that you have to do, and that's just that much more tech that you have to deal with, and there's that many more chances of stuff going wrong. So record it in hour blocks like you're going to teach a class, because this also gets you conditioned into the habit of teaching a 60-minute long class, and that's what you're going to have to do anyway, for the most part. I am going to send you all of this in writing as well. All of this information is in the online portal. It is in the syllabus in the online portal. So if you want to take notes, that is fine, but just know that, it'll be written down for you. So you don't have to have people live in your video. You're not required to have them live. The thing I do require, if you can, is have a background that is not busy. Hang on one second, y'all. Um, if you can have a clear and clean background, stuff that's not distracting, like typically I would not teach with this stuff behind me because it just gives you something to look at it and it can be distracting. Usually when I teach asana, I have a blank, clear background behind me. And that makes it a whole lot easier. Make sure that your audio works well because I need to be able to hear you cueing. So do not turn into me a video of just you practicing yoga because that is not teaching. I need movement and I need words. All right. And I will tell you now, just because we're going to talk about it in class, but here we are. Less is more. Clear and concise words. Think of it as whenever you're teaching, regardless of what level you're at, you are probably not probably, that's the wrong way to phrase that. You want to make sure you are teaching to someone at about a seventh grade level that guarantees comprehension across the board. If you're too wordy and you say too many things at a time, people get confused in class. So keep it simple. All right. No more than three directions at a time. Um, All right, don't create the contact sheet yet. I have all of those things for you. I love how excited y'all are. And I will send all that out. I will email all of that to you. Let's pretend you're ready. Y'all together. Let's pretend like Ashley's done this before, and she might know a thing or two about a thing or two. I will take care of you. I promise. I got y'all. I will send y'all the contact sheet so y'all can connect with each other because I do want you to build practice and community and connect with each other. That's why we're here on this call. So, as I was saying regarding the videos, clear background, clear audio. Make sure your lighting is bright enough where I can see you because it makes it very hard to grade if I can't. The big thing with the videos, the most important thing I can press upon you, you'll probably hear me say this more than anything else throughout the training is start early. Start your video recording early because when you wait, it will be the thing that haunts you at the 11th hour. And then you're going to text me and be like, Ashley, I didn't do my videos. Can I have an extension? That's the only time I will tell you no. Because I have said do the yoga thing. So do videos as soon as you possibly can. Like start them as soon as you feel like you have enough functioning knowledge from what we've gone over, and you will get that very soon in the beginning. Um, Go ahead and start recording. I will also tell you that the thing that I'm looking for regarding your video recordings is I'm looking for a progression in your teaching skill. So if your first video is absolute trash, okay, we can only go up from here, right? But by the time you get to your 15th one, I should see a progression in your teaching. That's it. That's all I'm looking for. That's it. And everyone will be fully capable of doing that. All right? Okay. So, um to do your videos, start them as soon as physically possible. It's okay if they're bad. It's okay if they're bad. Okay? Because in your head they're going to be bad, but in my head I'm going to be like, "Oh my gosh, look how far you've come." All right? So, the other thing I will warn you about regarding videos is the itty bitty shitty committee is going to get really loud in your head about what you sound like, what you look like. You didn't know this is my notorious one, and I'll tell on myself. Goddamn, I thought I had abs. Clearly, I don't. This video says otherwise, but here we are. Okay, the itty bitty shitty committee gets really loud, and that inner critic gets very noisy about what you look like in video. Do not let that deter you. So, things that I do to kind of preserve my mental health, I don't go back and watch them. I put them out in the ether, and what they are is what they are. All right. So if you know you're a person that inner critic can get super duper noisy, send the video. Just send it. That's your only job. Okay. Do not let that deter you from getting the work done because it can. That is the one thing that I've seen. And especially if you're not accustomed to hearing yourself or seeing yourself on video, there can be a massive amount of discomfort when we first start doing this. All right. So, other things that I want to go over regarding recording, use your phone. Please don't come out here and decide that you need to be the number one cinematographer in the world. Get your iPhone and or your Android phone, put it on a tripod and record the video. That's it. I am not asking for J.J. Abrams-esque video recordings. I just need you to do the yoga thing. Okay? Okay. Because it will turn into this is the other question I get, and I'll answer this beforehand. Do I need to come back and do a voiceover? You can. You can. You could be out here narrating like your Questlove in a music documentary. Cool. Great. You could do that. I don't begrudge you. However, just know you have to have the tech knowledge to be able to put those two things together to sync that video up to make sure it is functioning properly. And then make sure it uploads to me properly where I can actually watch it. Okay. Let's keep it easy, friends, and just talk, move, record all at the same time. Does that make sense? Okay, just make it if if I can tell you one thing regarding this that is very important, lower the level of difficulty of getting this task done. Keep it as simplistic as possible. That will aid you in actually getting it done. Okay? Cool? Okay. I know I've spent like 15 minutes on videos, but it is almost the biggest part of your homework. So, um, yeah, if your partner is in class with you, you can record together. You'll see I have on my just to give you an example of partner recording on my TikTok, I have one where I've drugged my husband to the studio and made him do partner yoga with me. So yeah, they belong to you. You even got a whole contract that says they belong to you. Use them. Use them. Uh so what was the other thing I was going to say? Video. We talked video. Okay. The other thing is your paper. All of the levels of training 200, 300, 500. They all have a final written assignment that is required. That written assignment for each level is about your experience of the textbook that I assign, of the book that I assign. Okay. You cannot get that wrong because I cannot tell you what your experience is of that book. I just need you to write coherently about it. I need you to write in a grammatically correct manner about it. It needs to be legible and understandable and make sense so I can consume it. Does that make sense to everybody? That's really all I'm looking for that assignment. And for the first time I've ever had to say in teacher training, if you are under the age of, let's say, 25, writing complete sentences. I happen to have teenagers, so I know. Right. Writing complete sentences. That's all I ask. You're capable. Y'all can do it. I know you can do it. So just make sure you do it. Um, the only way that you fail any of the writing assignments is if you turn in less than 1,000 words. This is the thing I am very much a stickler about. If you turn in 999 words, I'm going to send it back to you and say, do it again. Please, please, please make sure you meet the writing requirement from a word perspective. You can't get the rest of it wrong because it is your honest experience about this text. But if you turn me in 775 words and go, is this enough? I'm going to tell you no and send it back to you. Um, as far as logistics of the course, okay. So the first thing that you got was you let me I'll go through the beginning of this. The first thing was you saw me online saying, hey, sign up for this thing. You signed up for this thing. You got a receipt that says, hey, you've signed up for the thing. Awesome. From there, you should have received an email that said, one step before you start your journey. That is where you pick your level of class. After you've selected your level of class, you would then receive a welcome email for the level of class that you selected. Attached to that welcome email should have been the reading list for the level of training that you signed up for. Okay. If you did not receive the reading list for the level of training that you signed up for, please send me an email and I will get it to you. Gotcha. If someone else filled out the registration form for you, okay, or if they paid for this for you, the email address that you received the information regarding this meeting tonight, please email me back there and give me your email address so I can get all the information to you. In addition, from this point forward, make sure you check your spam and your junk folders every time you hear me say that I've sent you an email. Whether I'm sending it from our Gmail box or I'm sending it from our mass email account, which is through Square, please always check your spam and junk folders because for whatever reason, we seem to end up getting kicked there unless you whitelist our emails, which you can do that. But with Gmail, that doesn't even seem to always solve the problem. Okay. So the majority of the books on every reading list, I don't think there are any that are above 20 bucks. I did try and keep it as cost effective as possible. Um, if you want to get the books on Audible, you can do that. If you want to get them through the thrift store, you can do that. The links that I gave you that are on the reading list are all through Amazon because that was the easiest way for most folks to get them. So if you want to leverage Amazon, you can do that as well too. If you are a person that decided to register for all three courses, I do not let you take all three of them in once. It is entirely too much information, but you do have a year to do each of them. What will happen is that you will do 200-hour first. Once you have completed that, I will send you an additional welcome email for the next course that is in line for you. Okay? Then once you've completed 300-hour, you will receive an email for 500-hour, an additional welcome for that one. Because what will happen since you have a year to complete all of them, your start dates are going to change based off of where you are and where I am in teaching. All right. I will not bombard you theoretically if I've done this correctly. Some people have gotten more than one welcome email. Technically, you should only receive one welcome email for the course that corresponds to where you need to start at in training. If you receive more than one, that's my bad. You should not have received more than one. However, just know that if you're at the 200 level, you would start there. If you're at 300 level, you would start there and then move on to 5. Does that make sense to everyone? Cool. All right. Okay, so just a few more things. I want to definitely get this all done. We talked video, we talked assessments, we talked about timelines, foundational requirements. Okay, so things that you could do to stay supported within the community. Talk to each other. Obviously, y'all have no problem doing that. The chat is hopping, which I am grateful for. The other thing that I will do is once we get to I want to say February 5th is my plan. I am going to open an online community. I'm going to open an online group that is strictly just us in the group. So it will serve as, think of it as like our studio home, our virtual studio home, if you will, for all things teacher training. Y'all can talk to each other, kiki with each other, all that jazz. The only rule that I have is y'all have to be nice to each other or I will turn the group off. As long as everybody is kind and respectful in the group, y'all can have at it, build community, talk, do all the fun things in the group with one another. Things I will not do in the group. I will not answer customer service questions in the group. And I encourage everyone Do not answer customer service questions in the group because what happens inevitably, there are 421 people on this call right now. It becomes the most ratchet game of telephone ever. And inadvertently, what I said is not what gets said in the comments, and then everybody's confused, and then I'm irritated, and it's a whole thing. So I will not answer customer service questions in the comments. I will answer them via email or text like we do now. I do appreciate you all trying to support one another, but if you know in your bones that it's a question that I should answer, let me answer it. Okay, cool. And that keeps the group fun. Nobody wants to be like, when do I turn in my paper? And then what'll happen to is um, y'all will start getting frustrated because you'll see me come in the group and answer the same question like 65 times. And then somehow y'all are irritated on my behalf, even though I'm not annoyed. So if we just don't do customer service in the group chat, it makes it safer for everybody. But I will open the group so y'all can be in community and connect with one another and stay supported. The other thing that I will do um, is, despite my trepidations about doing this. I have not done this before, but I'm going to do it this time. I'm going to open my personal calendar for one-on-ones. I will, they will be paid. They have to be because there's so many of you. But I will open my personal calendar for one-on-ones, um, whether it be 20 or 60 minutes, whichever one you decide, and I will let you know when that happens along the way for training that will be available to you. Okay. Then lastly, making sure I'm not missing, um, be in class together, but then at some point you have to go on the mat and do the yoga thing. So if I ask you to practice 4 times a month, it is me holding you accountable to actually doing in physical practice the thing that we talk about, actually doing the thing that we say we're going to be about. Does that make sense to everybody? Okay, that's why the practice requirement exists. Now, the reason that I gave the option for the virtual studio is because there is no place else. I know, I've been doing this long enough to know that you're going to get 30 classes a month for $25. That's not a thing. That is not a thing. So at minimum, even at my studio, my physical studio, I think we're at $22 a month per class. So the reason that I gave access to the studio in the way in which I did the virtual studio is, one, you can practice at home. So if you want to keep your bonnet on, do it in your pajamas, whatever you want to do when you're in your own house, it allows you to be as comfortable as possible. Two, it keeps costs from being an additional barrier to you getting on the mat and practicing. Okay. But is using the virtual studio required? No. But getting your practice in is required. Okay. That sound fair to everybody? Does everyone understand where that comes from? And I'll get back to you as soon as I can. All right. All right. I appreciate each and every one of you. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Bye, y'all. I can't wait to see you in class. Y'all are amazing. Thank you for showing up for me. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much.